What is going on, guys? So I have a quick update for those of you who are following my channel. My name is Ricky. I drive a Mark 7 Golf R, and we have almost 2-year-old twins. So we've been trying to look for a vehicle to replace the Mark 7 Golf R that fits our budget, not too expensive, not really a luxury line because of the girls and how young they are. Doesn't really make sense to go full on luxury, but there may be possible messes around, right? But we decided on a RAV4 Prime. Now we've been on the list for about 4 months now, maybe 4 months and change. And I just got some news today. It happened really quick this whole week. Within the week, a lot of new developments, and basically, if the IRA bill signs into law, the Inflation Reduction Act, our RAV4 Primes, along with a lot of BEVs or PHEVs, FEVs, they won't be eligible for the $7,500 maximum tax credit after this bill gets enacted. So what that means is possibly in a few days, maybe even sooner, it supersedes the previous bill. So when that happens, we won't be able to take advantage of the tax credit, and kind of makes us want to back out from the Prime, which we eventually will, right, if it doesn't happen. Because what happens from there is we'll probably go ahead and just invest in a hybrid only version, or what makes even more sense, a Sienna. Now that kind of gives me an idea to do another video about our current situation, and surprisingly how the XC60, the car that we've been driving for quite some time, it's been featured in my channel for quite some time. It's my father's XC60. We went together to go ahead and get it. It's been with our family for the 3 years almost, and for the past year or so, it's been doing family duties, so a family hauler. And today's video will basically just focus on why this car surprised me so much as a family hauler. And the more I drive it, the more I've been exposed to all the amenities that it offers, why I like it so much. So stay tuned, and I invite you to go ahead and just join me in today's walk around tour. Now, one of the main features I like that really helps out in the long run for when we're traveling with family is the widget here, which is adjust passenger seat. Now, I'm going to go ahead and give you a look around the setup afterwards, but before you look at it, here is the widget right here. I'm going to toggle it. I could go ahead and move the passenger seat up like so via my seats, so that if wifey is sitting in the back, which she is directly behind the passenger seat, she'll definitely have more room. And then I can move and recline as such, right? So that she'll have a lot more. She has a ton of room in the back. So the girls are sitting in the middle and behind me. Now, wifey is sitting right there behind the passenger, and you go ahead and toggle it on and off so that she doesn't have to reach in the front. I don't have to reach over and adjust the seat. So that is one of the main underrated features, and the main thing which I love about Volvo, the fact that you could customize this. Now, another thing which I like is the 360 cameras that are housed in all around the car, right under the mirror, right in front of the grille. I like it because backing up into spaces, especially in the city, there's one day where we parked at a museum, and it was really tight spaces. So it really helped us in terms of maneuvering, making tight turns and whatnot, so you don't scrape your front bumper. And also, when you are parking in the city, you don't want to scratch up these 21-inch rims. The side cameras really do help. Now, on top of that, I mentioned also the panoramic sunroof right here. It really lets down a lot of light. So in the midst of all this darkened interior, it does go ahead and provide a nice natural sunlight versus kind of having a long trip without it. And when the girls get fussy, in which they do, you can go ahead and open it, and they just like seeing the shade, the power shade, retract back and forth. Now, another convenience feature which I like is the fact that this car is equipped with air suspension. We didn't really, that was not a requirement for us, but it came with the spec of the car. And in the long run, even if it might require some maintenance or overall long-term expenses, it really helps us. Why? Because we're not the tallest people. Wifey is petite, so when she opens the car actually lowers for her to easier get in and out, especially with the girls now. Now, you could set it so you could toggle on and off. So meaning if you don't want the air suspension to keep working every time you open the car, then basically you could go ahead and just switch it on and off via the infotainment system. One last thing in terms of exterior features for convenience that makes it a really nice family vehicle is the fact that we have power hatch. However, it's also a keyless, motion activated, foot activated. Now, why is this useful? Well, if you have a heavy package, let's say like the one I have right now, and you don't want to put it down, basically kick it, walk away. It opens fairly quickly, and then you're off. Now there's two options right here. You can either close the hatch or you could close and lock the hatch afterwards. So one underrated feature is actually a Volvo On Call app. It makes it really convenient with the girls. So here we have the Volvo On Call app from iOS, and you could basically unlock your car, especially if you forget your keys inside your house and then your car is parked further away. You could go ahead and retrieve the stroller like I did here without having to go ahead and worry about the whole key fob itself. Another thing is you could precondition the car to whatever temperature you have. So when the girls are back, when your family's back, then the car is ready, not hot, so no fussiness going on, or you minimize it. And the thing is, Volvo has like a pretty premium key, and especially with the R design, it has like this perforations that matches the steering wheel and the gear shifter. But for that one, if you forget to precondition your car, you could go ahead and press the unlock button, hold it, and then basically have the heat dissipate really fairly quickly. We didn't notice that we needed much space. Let's be honest, the Golf R is a miniature hatchback, and quite honestly, we tried to make that car work for as long as we could, and we did, especially with the cargo box on top. A cargo box on top of this XC60 would basically make this pretty much a keeper, all right? But suffice to say, the girls are at the toddler stage where they can't be cramped. They can't be stuck in this for long hours. But the top clearance, the ground clearance, first of all, that's a plus. The rear shoulder room and the rear leg room creates a lot more space for the girls to be in, especially with the chairs. So that was beneficial from the start when we swapped from the Golf R to the XC60. Now, the other main factor is the fact that my wife could sit right there, right behind the driver, the passenger side, so that she could be with the girls. Because the girls were afraid that we were not in the car when we were moving in the Golf. There was not enough rear room for them to be side by side. So this car seat, the Dionos, had to be on the outer boards, mounted on the latch system on the Golf R. This one, we could have the middle portion, the Diono right here, fit in the middle seat, and this other Diono, the 3QXT, fit on the outer board behind the drivers. That way, mommy could sit right there and be with the girls, and it just transformed the whole traveling experience for us. When the girls reached the point where they could kind of like stand and they didn't want to be in the car seats, they stood up on the Golf, and then there was not enough top clearance for them. This changed everything. So having said that, the more I drove the XC60 every time, the more I was realizing, me and my wife, wow, we like this car a lot. Compared to the Golf R, I think the Golf R might be quoted at 22 cubic feet.
It might be a little bit more generous for the low hatchback that could, but this is around 20, almost 29 cubic feet. So this makes a huge difference. It's just based on the design itself. It's not going to be the most, how do I put this? It doesn't take advantage of the real estate based on the design of this slope right here. So it does cut off, it does cut off a little bit of space around here. All right, but just to, it sacrifices the space for the looks. Anyway, overall, almost 29 cubic feet of space in the rear cargo room. And we like this because we could go ahead and change the girls, the diapers. If they want to eat, they could go ahead and stand here and eat. A ton of space for them to stand up. So that is in itself a huge game changer. Now, having said that, we did go ahead and install one of these aftermarket pieces to prevent any scuffing when we take out cargo. If you guys are here still with me, I think you can make the argument that, hey, any SUV could be a nice family vehicle, just given the space, which is correct. That is why we looked into the RAV4, basically because of its generous rear cargo space. Everything in terms of like gas prices and whatnot led us to the hybrid route. And with the Prime, there is a $7,500 tax incentive that would bring the price down to hybrid pricing. So given that, when it was available, hopefully it still is, that makes it kind of like a no-brainer in the city, especially in the Northeast where it's high volume. That was a no-brainer versus getting just a hybrid. And lastly, before anything, I think the Volvo XC60, the most important part is the fact that it's safe. Volvo goes ahead and advertises it all over the commercials, but for what I didn't know is the fact that Volvo introduced a lot of stuff that kind of pioneered the safety features in a lot of cars. Let's say, like for instance, I wrote it down, the 3-point seat belt, the booster seats, every test crash ratings or test results that they have in the back, like in the past, they actually went ahead and disclosed all their findings to the competitors to make everything equal. Now, also they have rear seats and front seats, the front seats with a whiplash system to go ahead and protect your spine during impact. They have rollover safety features that they pioneered as well, and also safety features in terms like blind spot monitoring. I think they pioneered that as well. Might have to fact check me on that, but also like pedestrian detection, they also went ahead and one of the first ones to kind of introduce that as well. Other than that, all these other safety features I'm gonna go ahead and just put up on the board. I don't remember, but Volvo has pioneered a lot of these, and I'm really impressed with it. It is really a huge marketing factor that I do consider, and it really makes me want additional Volvo, but at the same time, it makes me really safe, feel really secure to drive, or at a peace of mind to drive this car right here. Now to sum up our video, my wife and I unexpectedly like this car more than we should have, and right now it's like I want an XC90, that type of deal. Yeah, we like this vehicle so much more now because of the fact that it's so much more interior room, a lot more ground clearance. You don't have to worry about hitting a pothole and getting a flat like my Golf R. Not to say anything disrespectful about my Golf R, because that's my bread and butter, the car that's dear to my heart, right? And I don't want to go ahead and sell it. And probably right now I'm not. I think I'm gonna go ahead and keep the vehicle for now, especially if I am not able to get the Prime. And just kind of sit through the situation, see how it works out, and keep driving my vehicle. My dad's been taking the R. He doesn't want to admit it, but I'm pretty sure he has some fun in it. It's a nice little hatchback that you can zip around in. And overall, I'm still kind of like a sport hatchback type of dude. In a perfect world, it'll be an Audi RS6 Avant or the new RS3. And I'm really tempted to get the RS3, but by now I'm just kind of babbling on back and forth. But if you're still here, thank you for watching, and I hope you guys enjoy or found this video informative. I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.